Welcome into the first 10 steps for all aspiring first-time home buyers. This is for everybody, the absolute beginner wondering how, where, and when to start, as well as for the buyer who already knows the basics and is looking for the insider secrets. People trying to get clarity, confidence, and a winning roadmap. Let's get started.
How to Buy a Home educates, protects, and connects first-time home buyers to qualified vetted realtors in their area. Whether you're looking for DIY information or step-by-step guidance, How to Buy a Home is the #1 resource for first-time home buyers.
What's up, my How to Buy a Homies? Yeah, as a listener to this show, you're now a How to Buy a Homie. I'm your host and first-time homebuyer coach, David Sidoni. For the past 20 years, I've been educating and empowering hopeful first-time home buyers with honest, insightful, and comprehensive tips, tactics, and techniques with only one goal in mind: clarity for you. Every year, I update these 10 steps for the current market. And the theme for 2026 and 27, it's very clear. You're being told that it's impossible to buy a home today. And that is flat out wrong. It's old news. So before I get into the steps, let me very quickly give you the encouraging numbers, the ones that you're not going to hear from the mainstream media. You see, the recent news says that 2026 is the worst time to be a first-time home buyer. And it makes sense because, mortgage rates and prices are high. But what you don't hear in the news is that the mortgage rates and the prices, they've been high for 3 years. And the rates are actually lower now than they have been. As I record this, 2026 is really the 4th most unaffordable time for you to buy your first home. Not the first. Did you know that? Yeah, 2023 was the worst, followed by 24, 25, and then 2026. That's not theory, that's math. And now here's some more encouraging numbers for first-time home buyers. From 2013 to 2023, first-time home buyers made up 32.7% of the annual real estate transactions. We do anywhere from 5 to 6 million transactions a year during that time. So that was a little over 1.7 million first-time home buyers every single year. And then in 2024, that number plummeted from 32% down to 24%, which is a huge drop-off. That year, there were only about 974,000 first-time home buyers. And then in 2025, it got worse. It hit the lowest percentage in recorded history since they first started keeping track of first-time home buyers all the way back to 1981. 21%, and only 853,000 first-time home buyers for the entire year. See, for decades, first-time home buyers were 1 in every 3 buyers. But in 2025, they were 1 in every 5. So to everyone thinking that right now is the worst time to buy a home, well, as I record this right now in the first half of 2026, first-time home buyers this year so far make up 35% of all real estate transactions. That's a projected 1.5 million first-time home buyers in 2026, almost double the amount of last year. But that's not the news you're hearing in all the media hype. All you hear about is how much the housing market sucks today and how frustrated people are and how nobody can buy a home the same way that the boomers did. Well, you know what? That's true. You can't buy a home the way that they did 20 years ago. But what sucks more than that is that millions of first-time home buyers are learning the new way to affordably buy their first home. But it's not as easy for people to find these new solutions that are changing the way the next generation is buying homes in such high numbers. And no, these people are not getting loans from mommy and daddy to buy their homes. Using these 10 steps, regular renters just like you, they're buying homes on their own, and you can too. You can do this, and I'm going to show you how. Here's just some of the questions that you're going to get answered in these 10 steps. Where and when to start if you've got no clue? How much money do you need to make? What's the annual salary requirements to buy your first home? How do you figure out the loan process? Everything about it, including getting the best interest rate, the credit score requirements, how you get an approval, and choosing the right lending team for you. How much of a down payment are you going to need? And are there down payment assistance programs and grants that are available for you? We're going to get deep into credit scores, give you the tips and the tricks to improve your score with the real insider knowledge that I've seen firsthand thousands of people use to bump their score up. We're going to talk about managing your debt and what debt is really holding you back, including student loans. And the answer, it might surprise a lot of you. We're also going to talk about saving requirements and tips on how to get there. And when it comes to your debt and your savings, we're going to talk about one of the most important things that so many first-time homebuyers are just not being taught. It's about how to do them both in a balance, not doing one thing at a time, working on your debt and then turning around and working on your savings. We have techniques to help you work on both things at the same time, which will help progress you towards buying a home far faster than doing it the old one at a time way. And finally, I'm going to share with you, when should you reach out to a professional team to help guide you, to help educate you? And how do you choose the best team for you? And I'm going to even give you 3 action steps that you can do starting today by the end of this episode. And you can do them in less than 30 minutes. So you'll feel like you get started just 30 minutes after you're done with the show. So you're going to start with these 10 steps, and then you can get into even more detailed information. Everything on the tips, the tricks, the tools, the techniques, all the stuff that every first-time homebuyer needs to know, because after 7 years and over 500 episodes, whatever you're looking for, it's all here, and it's all free. And we're going to put the episode guide link in the show notes. You can click on that, scroll through the titles after you finish the 10 steps, and then continue your education so you get all the answers you're looking for. And we've got answers to everything, like what to look for in a home or a condo. What about buying a new home versus a resale home? Answers about home inspections, red flags, warranties, insurance, buying together or buying on your own. What about credit scores? If you're working with a partner, how does that work? Pros and cons of online lenders and realtors versus local professionals. Talk about timing the market, researching your neighborhoods, buying out of town or buying out of state, tips on bidding wars. Is it a housing bubble right now or a housing crash? That's discussed in the podcast. We also talk about down payment options, financial strategies to find affordability, timing your lease with your purchase, house hacking, understanding real estate terminology, VA, FHA, USDA, DTI, 401k, GDP, FICO, HELOC, and all the abbreviations, what seems like from every letter in the freaking alphabet. OMG, there's a lot of abbreviations in real estate. And we also have over 125 interviews with real people that were just like you. You're going to be able to hear for real how these 10 steps turn renters into homeowners. They share their real life stories straight from the people who are just like you. There's one simple mission here at How to Buy a Home. It's empowering and educating you, the first-time homebuyers. You're a community that has been ignored and underserved, and you deserve a hell of a lot better service than what's being offered to you. I've been a realtor educating and serving first-time homebuyers since 2006. And in 2019, after about 12, 13 years in the industry, I saw how first-time homebuyers got ridiculously screwed over all the time by pretty much everybody in the entire real estate industry. So I quit my broker. And that's when I decided I was going to do everything I could to change that. Fast forward to today, How to Buy a Home is the #1 first-time homebuyer education resource in North America, with over 2.3 million downloads and tens of thousands of renters who found an affordable path to home ownership. Now, you're wondering, why did I quit and start this passion project? Well, I told you I was sick of it. Sick of seeing the people who needed the most education and attention get the least amount of service. Within the real estate industry, here's something you may not know. First-time homebuyers, they're seen as the bottom of the barrel, and they get just brutally disrespected. To the experienced and qualified realtors, no. They consider first-time homebuyers a waste of time and a low-profit endeavor. So they pass them off to the newbie agents, people who are completely unskilled, unqualified, and have the lowest level of training in the known universe. Seriously, I'm here to start a revolution, because if the public actually knew how untrained most realtors are, there would be a riot at the National Association of Realtors. 87% of realtors quit in 5 years. Don't even make it to that point. And 71% of them, they sold 0 homes in 2025. Those stats suck for the consumer. They're just playing a numbers game. It's a system designed for maximum profits, definitely not customer service. They license as many untrained and unqualified realtors as possible, and then they play the odds. And they hope that those people can actually sell you a home. So welcome in, homies. Think of me as your pissed off unk. I saw firsthand how terrible this was for over a decade. I was straight up horrified, sickened, and disgusted by the big real estate scam. I still am. But instead of bitching about it, I decided to grab this microphone, and I've been sharing insider information and solutions that you can follow so you can win a game that is decidedly rigged against you. Here's scary secret number 1. Do you know how the real estate industry really trains their new realtors? Yeah, by using you as on-the-job training for the newly licensed realtors. Cool, huh? For the biggest financial transaction of your life. And any real estate broker who denies that's how it works, they are straight up lying to you. If you want to see for yourself, go check out all the obvious results of this terrible plan that real estate's doing. Reviews are terrible. First-time homebuyers get just awful levels of service. And the subreddits, they're filled with horror stories. And so when I was looking around to see what information people were getting, oh, guess what? It was terrible. I mean, this is why most of the education that you find out there for first-time homebuyers sucks. And that's not me bragging because I'm doing something different. That's just simple facts. If no experienced professionals in the real estate industry are focusing on first-time homebuyers, then of course, the quality of educational information that you're going to find is going to suck. If you search hard, yeah, you'll find some stuff, but look closely at it. Most of the time, they're teasers and snippets, just a little bit of first-time buyer information. Just a little bit of something. It's masquerading as education, but what it really is clickbait because they want to get you to use their services without providing you any of the answers that you were looking for ahead of time, or even when you reach out to them and try to get some of those answers. So most of what you're going to find out there is incomplete, unclear, and a lot of times it's just wrong. So what I do here every year is I drop these 10 steps. They're complete, clear, usable information with action steps, things you can do. And there's no catch, there's no BS, and there's no sugarcoating either. And for you advanced buyers out there, don't worry about it. I am a self-proclaimed real estate data nerd. There is so much highly researched, in-depth analysis in the podcast. If you're the kind of person who goes nuts for a spreadsheet, oh boy, you're going to be stoked. I dropped tons of math and formulas, and I continue to do that with each and every new episode. Like I said, though, there is the occasional dad joke thrown in. The way I look at it is this podcast is like a really intense AP calculus exam, except it's printed on rainbow construction paper to distract you. And there's also something else very different that you're going to find here. And this is something extremely important that big real estate just refuses to do for you. Help you out with guidance. Simple steps in the planning process when you're still months or even years away from getting serious about buying your first home. Everybody, even if you're a year or two away from getting serious about getting out and doing your home shopping, everybody should be given the opportunity to know exactly what they can do today to set themselves up for success when they're ready to start writing offers. So one of the ways that we do that here in the 10 steps is something that we call the Last Lease Ever program. It's going to give you clear action steps. If you're signing a lease for a 12-month contract on a new place, cool. You can have a step to do the same day you sign that lease, doing things for the next 12 months. And then if you follow the plan and you're in the right position, you're going to be able to buy a home. Because the pre-planning process, that's where first-time home buyers really set themselves up for the maximum success. And what I try to do with the podcast is fill the gaping educational hole left by the greedy real estate industry. Because all they do is let you try to figure this out on your own and hope that when you call in, you're ready to buy a home. But the planning process, it is not rocket science. There are simple action steps. But the reason they don't teach it is because it's not profitable for them. But this pre-planning, this is where you win the game. And you're going to create buying options that you would never have believed were even possible. Options, that's the big key. That's how you win the rigged game. And I guarantee you that most of you, you're probably a lot closer than you think, and you're going to be very surprised when you find out what options you really have. So now maybe you're thinking, okay, dude, what can I actually do months and months before I'm ready to buy? There's no one magic answer for all of you. It's not an app. You can't swipe. You can't put in 5 things and then get, boop, here's your perfect roadmap. Because each buyer's planning and strategy, it's going to be entirely and wholly unique. It's yours. Every single one of you is going to build a different path, tailored specifically for you, built with all the variables, not just with your financial life, but with your personal goals. And after 2 decades of serving and coaching first-time home buyers, I got to tell you, these are the 2 biggest tips that I can give. People ask me all the time, what's your biggest thing, David? This is it. These are the 2 huge mistakes that I see firsthand that can be corrected. Number 1, thinking that you can Google your way to find the best plan to buy yourself a home because you're assuming that it works similarly for everybody. And then mistake number 2, not starting the planning with a professional guide sooner. That's it. My biggest 2, by far, period, the end, curtain. And the reason why is because after 20 years helping people myself here in Southern California or coaching people online, the one thing that I hear most often when buyers get the keys to their new home is they go, geez, damn it, Sidoni. If I'd known this a few years ago, I could have done this way sooner and I would have saved tons of money wasted on rent. And I feel for them. I get it. It's not your fault. The information isn't readily available. But here in 2026 and 2027, these mistakes, man, it's murdering the first-time home buyer dream. But I don't know. Maybe my information's getting out there because I gave you the stats at the top of the episode. Right now, it's not affordability that's holding back first-time home buyers. It's the lack of quality education. There's a whole bunch of 22, 25, 32, 35-year-old people out there who are renting, and some of them are figuring out what is the solution. And the stats, I told you, it's happening. People are doing this. I've been studying, researching, and talking to first-time home buyers 24/7, 365, eating, breathing, and sleeping this since 2019. And I got to tell you, in the last 3 years, undoubtedly, there are millions of people out there who could have found an affordable option to buy a home, but they don't think they can. With the right steps to follow along and move yourself forward, even in today's market and today's economy, you can do this. It just hasn't been explained correctly to you. So before we jump to step 1, remember this. You are not going out and buying a new expensive thing. This isn't a brand new big expense to your life. Because today, especially with rent so high, the formula for buying a home isn't about adding something new. It's a rent replacement strategy, which will help you get ahead financially, especially as we go into this volatile economy. So to help you get out of the rising rent trap, fight inflation, and take control of your life and find stability in an unstable world, you have to reshape the understanding of that largest monthly payment. It's called the rent replacement strategy. For a lot of people, once they get that math and formula in their head, boom, they're on their way to action steps. And it's great news for you because we've helped plenty of people buy homes in the last few years, thousands, and for far less than they thought and without going house poor. The buyers who get the correct information from an experienced first-time home buyer team, they're finding options that a lot of people don't ever hear about. They're shopping their lenders correctly. They're learning about down payment assistance. They're asking about 3% down payment programs, 3.5%, 5%, VA loans, USDA loans, grants, credits, seller concessions, builder incentives, mortgage rate buydowns, lease timing, credit optimization, debt strategy, and a whole bunch more. Because with the right guidance, so you understand all that stuff I just rambled off right now, we've actually seen thousands of buyers, people who were 30, 25, 22. Hell, we even interviewed a couple 19-year-olds that bought a home. And I don't mean 2 people together. I mean 2 separate 19-year-olds who both bought separate homes. This is an unfiltered, truth-telling, educational step-by-step instruction manual, but should also be a motivational tool for you to know what's going on out there is not what you can actually do. I'm just a dude on a mic leading a revolution, telling people the stuff that somebody should be telling them anyway, but they're not. I'm going to bring you facts and information to change the way first-time home buyers approach what is a changed home buying system. Not going to do any sales pitches here, no false promises, and definitely no call me now or join my webinar so I can make your dreams come true. And of course, after that, I'm going to be spamming you to death to try to get you to work with me. That's not my jam. So let's go ahead and get you started. I'm going to give you 3 simple steps, little things that you can do today before you even start on step 1. These action items come directly from within the 10 steps. They come from episodes 3, 4, and 5. That's steps 3, 4, and 5 in the 10 steps. And since you're all going to get to those in a few days anyway, let's go ahead and get a head start. All right, first tip is for your credit score. You might know your score, but understanding what's on your credit report, that's the thing that's going to separate you from the rest and put you way ahead. First thing you're going to do is you're going to go download your free credit report. I know you probably know your credit score because you've seen it in a million different places, but your credit report, that's an important thing to look at. And you can look at it today for free. And as a matter of fact, right now, when you go to annualcreditreport.com, you can download your credit report once a week from each of the 3 major credit bureaus. I know you know your score and you think, oh, I know what's going on. No, that's your score. Your report shows everything that's on there and you can find mistakes. And forget Credit Karma and all the apps for this first step. Now, they can be useful to kind of know where you're at. The report is the one true place to see everything, not just your score. Not to mention that Credit Karma score is not nearly as accurate as you think. You'll learn more about that in step 3. All right, second thing, your debt. It's an important part of buying a home. I truly believe if more buyers understood the debt to income ratio, they would have a better understanding of what they need to do to put themselves in a position to be able to buy a home. So we're just going to go real simple. You can grab a piece of paper or you can do it on your notes app on your phone. I don't care. Organize your monthly debts onto one sheet. Now, here's the thing, not the total of each debt. Banks that are going to give you a loan on a home, they don't care about the total debt. All we're looking for is the minimum monthly payments. And that's on your credit cards, your student loans, your car payments, your personal loans, just loans, not your utilities or groceries or anything like that. Add up the minimum monthly payments of all that debt. Then you're going to add your rent to that number. Now that's one number. The other number you use to get your debt to income ratio is your monthly gross pre-tax income. So you take your annual salary divided by 12 before taxes. There's your monthly. Now, if there's more than one of you that are going to be applying to eventually buy a home someday, cool. Then add them together. Get those 2 numbers. And eventually, when you start talking with your home mortgage professional, someone that's going to be a true guide and a strategic advisor, they're going to help you learn how to use those numbers for your debt to income ratio. So get used to doing that. And now we'll move on to the third little tip. Savings. It's going to sound really silly, but you got to get started on this somehow. And if you haven't done anything yet, set up a quick automated savings account just for your home buying. Call it your down payment and closing cost savings account. Even if you don't have a clue what either of those things mean, down payment or closing costs, that's fine. But automate it. Automate it, automate it, automate it. I don't care if you start with $25 a week or $25 a month. Because remember, setting this up right now isn't about making you ready to go out and look at homes next month. This is about setting up your planning so you follow action steps that will help you as you move on your own timeline. That's it. We haven't even got to step 1. You got 3 things you can do in 25 minutes. Go ahead and do that. Pat yourself on the back. Good job. You've begun your journey. And that's how this show works. You listen, you get the advice, and the next thing you know, you're actually doing this. You're on your path. Is it a month path or a year or 2 years? Well, that's what we're going to find out. And that journey will continue in the next episode. If you can't wait and you've got a specific question, you can go to howtobuyahome.com and hit the Ask David button and ask me directly. I answer all of them. And me, not a team member, not AI, not a robot. It's really me. So make sure when you answer back to the text, you don't get snarky because that's me writing it. And if you've got more than a question and you're a crazy analytical research nerd and you want more data, hey, all good. Me too. That's me. And the only difference is that I recorded it all into this microphone so you can go find it. There's 7 years of data, math, formula, algorithms, everything you want to know. Check the episode guide in the show notes, along with the over 125 interviews, which are great stories that are not only informational, but really inspirational as well. There's a ton of information on the How to Buy a Home YouTube channel as well, along with the How to Buy a Home podcast Instagram feed. So it's everywhere, but stay focused. Go to step 1 next, and then follow the steps in order. You're on your way, and we're going to keep going through these 10 steps because when you're following the right system, there's one thing I know for sure. You can do this.
Looking for more DIY education or your own personal step-by-step guidance through the home buying journey? Since 2019, How to Buy a Home has been the #1 resource for first-time homebuyers. So visit howtobuy.com to get started.